Hi friends, it's Amanda here from Fun Hands-On Learning. In today's video, I'm going to show you some hands-on learning activities that I have planned out for my pre-K and kindergarten students for the next 2 weeks. So these next 2 weeks are leading up to Thanksgiving here in the States, and so these activities are going to be fall and Thanksgiving themed. But they still work on skills that pre-K and kindergarten students need, such as literacy, reading, and math skills. So if you're excited to see these activities, hang on with us and let's go. Okay, this first activity is a brand new activity that I just created, and it is called Leaf, Count, and Add. This is the information card that I always include with all of my activities that has the directions on it. So I always just attach that to the bag that I keep the activity in. So I'm going to set that off to the side. I'm going to show you what this is. So this activity comes with these trees, and then it also comes with number cards that are leaves. So put those here. It also comes with the plus and equals. So I'm going to put those over here. And then you don't have to have these, but I have little leaves that I'm going to use as manipulatives with this activity. Okay, so what the students do is they take a card, and if you have young students, say pre-K students who are just working on counting, what you would do is you just give them one card, and then they can use their little manipulatives to count, or they can just count with their finger if you don't have the manipulatives. And what they would do is they would just count how many leaves are on this tree. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there are 5 leaves on this tree, and then they're going to find the numeral 5 in their leaves, and they're going to place it on the card. Okay, so they can go ahead and do all the different cards. There's cards up through 10. Now, if you want to extend this activity and make it into an addition activity, you could take the first card. Oh, I should have left those on there. All right, and then add another card to it. So here's another card. How many are on this card? There's 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves on this card. So then they would use their little signs, plus. Okay, I gotta find a 4 here, hang on. All right, so let's put our 4 right here. Okay, so now we have 5 plus 4, then I'm gonna use my equal sign, equals, and then they can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or since we already know this is 5, teach the children how to count on. Say 5 and now count 4 more. 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? And then they're going to find their number 9 card, and they're going to place it in the answer spot. Now, what I want to tell you really quick is if you download this activity and do it with your students, print out the card, the number cards twice. So print that page twice. That way you have enough answer cards. So that's this activity. Okay, this next activity is specifically geared towards Thanksgiving. A couple years back, I made a handful of Thanksgiving activities, or I should say activities that relate to Thanksgiving. And so I took a bunch of those out since Thanksgiving is next week, and we're going to be doing these. This first one here is called Measure It, and it is a Thanksgiving measuring activity. So what you need for this activity is you need some snap cubes. So here's my snap cubes right here. You may have also heard them called Unifix cubes, okay? And what they do is they take a card, and I'm gonna measure how many cubes this pie is, okay? So they're gonna take the cubes, they're gonna put them together. 2 is not enough. Of course, you wanna teach the children how to measure and how to start at the first line, and you wanna go to the second line. So the pie is 3 cubes long. You can see that. Okay, now they would continue on. We could measure the turkey. The turkey's a little bit longer. But you kind of get the idea here. So we have all sorts of Thanksgiving themed pictures. And then the kids are going to measure how long it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the turkey is 6 cubes long. All right, so there's just a handful of different pictures that my kiddos are going to be measuring that have to do with Thanksgiving. So that will be a lot of fun. Okay, this tray here has multiple activities. Sometimes if the activities are related, like all of these activities are literacy based, I will put them all on one tray to just kind of save myself space if I don't need a lot of extra hands-on manipulatives, if I'm using the same manipulatives with each activity. Okay, so that's what I did here, and I'm going to kind of show you these really quick. This one is a fall activity. I have a bundle of fall activities that I made years ago as well, and this is one of them. And you're going to see a couple of them because I took out just a whole bunch of them for my kids to do. All right, so in here I have more little manipulatives, but I also, besides just the leaves, I have pumpkins, and I have little tiny scarecrows as well. I only see one, but I know I have more somewhere. But anyway, oh yeah, I have a couple more up here. Okay, so I got these little manipulatives, by the way, from orientaltrading.com. They're like little foam pieces. So if you're looking for something specific, that's where I got these a couple of years ago. I've had them for years now. But you could use little erasers that are fall themed. You could, and you don't even have to use something fall themed. Like, let's say you wanted to use the snap cubes that we used in the last activity. You could totally use these as well. It doesn't have to be themed to fall. Okay, all right. So let's get into this one. This one is super fun and cute. This activity works on vowel sounds, so only vowels, okay? So what you want to do is you want to review your vowel sounds with your students before you do the activity. So A for apple, A for elephant, I for inchworm, squirming all around, A for ostrich, living in the zoo, for umbrella to keep the rain off you. Now I said my vowels, A, E, I, O, U. All right, you want to review with either a song like I just did, or however you review with your students. Now that's specific song, I want to give credit where credit is due. I did not come up with that song. That song is from Becca, okay? But I think it's super cute, and I use that song all the time. All right, so here we go. These are the vowels. You review your vowels, and then you play the game. You spin the spinner, and whatever vowel it lands on, landed on A, I have to find a picture that begins with A. Axe, and then they're going to use their manipulatives to cover it up. So here's I. I'm going to find something that begins with I. Igloo. All right. So you just want to keep playing. I got these spinners off Amazon. I buy them in packs of, I think they come in packs of 12. I can't remember because I haven't bought them in a really long time. But if you're looking for these specific spinners, I will leave a link to my Amazon affiliate store in the description box of this video, and then you can pick these spinners up. If you don't have the spinners, then you can just use a pencil and a paper clip. They hold the pencil and then they spin the paper clip, and it works just the same, okay? So that's how this activity goes. They just keep spinning and covering up their answers. Let's say it landed on O. I'm going to cover up my octopus. Okay, so there you go. There's 2 pictures for every vowel. Okay, this next activity is a fall blend match. It's a consonant and vowel blend match. And I like to do this activity in a pocket chart. I'll show you, there's a picture here on my bag. I like to do it in a pocket chart, but if you don't have a pocket chart, you can just do it on a desk here as well. And it comes with consonant and vowel blend cards that look like this. Okay, I laid a couple of them out. And then it also comes with matching picture cards. There's a scarecrow on each one. The scarecrow cards look like this, and each scarecrow has a different picture on it. And you're going to match up those pictures with the blends. So your students would have to read wa, a, wa, and then they would look through their cards and match it up. So this is a wa, wa, wagon. So that would go with this one. La, a, la for lemon. So we're going to match that one up. Da, I, di. What would go with di? How about dig? Okay. M, a, ma. Muffin. And then, I don't know if you can see this one. H, a, ha. Hot dog. Okay. So there are an array of other cards that the kids can do. Okay, this next activity, you have seen things like this before. These are clip cards. And by the way, I was just looking at when I created these activities. A lot of these, oops, this goes with the measuring activity. This doesn't go here. Okay, a lot of these activities I created back in 2017. So they're about 5 years old. So you may have seen them in a previous video. All right, so these cards all have pictures of fall type things, and then of course the students would clip the beginning sound. Instead of using clips, you can also use your little manipulatives if you have them, and I actually pulled out a little bit more. I have some little pieces of corn and some little acorns that also come in this set of foam pieces, so they're super cute. But anyways, so instead of using clip cards, if you have students, you know, who are having trouble with maybe fine motor skills, and you want them to work on that, then awesome, have them use the clip card or the clips, because when they clip it, that will work on fine motor skills. But if you just want the students to be working on their phonics and not also trying to work on their fine motor, then using the little pieces is a little bit easier because you're just focusing in on the phonics and they're not having to worry about trying to get the clips out there. All right, so I'm going to use the little pieces with my kiddos, and this is a crow, so they would just take a piece and they would cover up the C for crow. You get the idea. They would cover up the P for pumpkin. They would cover up the H for hay. Now, another thing you can do, if you are doing this with a group of students and you're doing it, like say at a center or something like that, and your students are doing it on their own, and you want to be able to check their answers later on because you're not sitting there right with them because you've got a lot of students, then you can use a dry erase marker. So I don't know if you can see, but at one point, one year, we used a dry erase marker on this card because I can see where it hasn't erased fully. So I would just need a little bit of water to get that out. But that is another option. And then you could go back and check their answers if they circle their answer with a dry erase marker. Okay, I have a couple more math-related activities on this tray. The first one works on shapes. And so it's a fall shape matching activity. This is great for your pre-K kiddos who are learning their two-dimensional shapes. And when I do this activity, I also took out these shape boards. I'm going to show you this really quick. These are made by Melissa and Doug, and I love these because the students have to, I know you've probably seen something like this before. They have to use their shape pieces and fill it in. So this is a snail, and they would just match up like the hexagon and so on. You get the idea. The square. They match up their pieces to the board. So we're going to do this when we do this other fall shape activity. I'm going to show you. So I had that on the tray, and I just kind of wanted to show you that sometimes I pull in other fun like toys, and we do those if it goes along with our activity. Okay, so this activity has our basic shapes, and it has kids who are raking up some leaves for fall, and then they have to find like the matching pictures. So this first card here, let me get this straightened out, says diamond. Okay, so the little boy is raking up his leaves. He's got a diamond. Then they have to find the cards that have, this has a circle, so that's not going to be it. But they have to find the cards that have the matching shape, and the shape is in something like that you would see every day. Okay, so here's a diamond on a ring. So that would be the first one, and let me see if I can find, oh, and then the other one is a kite. Okay, so that card would be finished. They would go on to the next shape. All right, we're gonna find ovals for this shape. So I already see one down here, an egg, and a mirror. Okay, so this is what the kids will be doing. They'll be going through each of the cards and finding the two matching cards that go with that shape. So like for this one, the rectangle, we got the door and the dollar bill. Okay, this activity is working on differentiation. So we want the kids to be able to differentiate which pictures are the same and which pictures are different. So they'll take a strip card. Now these are all Thanksgiving related. And they're going to, there's two different types of cards. So this one is where they have to cover up the one that is different. So these are the turkeys. This one is different. So they would cover up the picture that is different. So they're doing different and same. Here are some pies. Which pie is different? Cover it up. Okay. But then there's another set of cards where they have to find the two that are matching. So for example, let's move this out of the way. All right, this card has 4 turkeys on it, and they have to find the two that are matching and cover them both up. So this guy and this guy match. Okay. And let's see. Another option, instead of covering up your answers, is to circle. So you can see a year previous, my students circled their answers with dry erase markers so that I could go back and check their answers. Okay, so these are a lot of fun, working on differentiation, working on same and different. Okay, this next activity is called Flip, Count, and Cover. This activity is Thanksgiving themed because it has all of the different Thanksgiving foods, and then it also has some turkeys, okay? So what the kids are going to do is they are going to take a card, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to count the feathers on my turkey. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to cover up the number 4. So this is a counting activity. Now, for this activity, I decided that I'm going to have my students use these leaves because they're a little bit bigger, and since the boxes on here are bigger, it'll cover up my answers a little bit better. So these are actually foam stickers, okay? So those are great to use. Just don't take the backing off, and you can use them as manipulatives instead of as stickers. All right, so that's what they're going to do. They're just going to keep flipping over the cards, counting the feathers on the turkey, and then covering up their answer. So this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to cover up the number 7, okay? You could also use this as an addition activity when you're done covering up your mat if you wanted to, because you could give them 2 cards and have them add the feathers together. But for my students, we're just going to try to go through the cards and cover up the entire mat. Okay, this next activity is another counting activity, but this one, they're going to match numbers, so numerals, with number words. So you're working on another skill, okay, number words, and then also counting. Okay, so it comes with the numeral cards, it comes with the number word cards, and then it also comes with pieces for the kids to use for counting, okay? So they can use these little fall-themed pieces for counting. All right, I'm gonna put these up here, and we're gonna start with the number 3, and then we look through our cards over here. We have to find the number word, 3, then we have to count out 3. 1, 2, 3, okay? And then they would continue on. So let's take that card away. This one says 2. So I'm going to find my word 2. And I'm going to count 2. 1, 2. Okay. Let's see. We'll do one more. Here's 8. I'm going to find my word 8, which I don't have ready. Sorry. But this way you can actually see what some of the pictures are. Okay, here's 8. And then we have to count out 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm trying to go super fast for you guys, or this video is going to be really long. Okay, this next activity, I really think my 3-year-old is going to love this because he loves writing. He loves learning how to write his letters. So I think he's going to love this activity. Okay, so it's Thanksgiving themed because it's got a turkey here. And then we have some pilgrims on our cards, okay? So what the kids are going to do is they're going to take a card and they have to figure out what vowel this picture starts with. This is an iguana. This iguana starts with I. And then they're going to use a dry erase marker and they're going to trace capital I, little I. I says I as in iguana. I says I. By the way, I love these Expo Click dry erase markers. They're awesome. Yeah, I recommend them. I really like them. All right. And my kids like them too because they can click, click, click. You know how kids are. All right, so this next one has a girl going up. Up starts with U. So we're going to trace the vowel U. Capital U, little u. U says as in up. U says You get the idea. Here's apple, so we would do A. So we find the A on our mat and we trace capital A. I'm doing it really fast here. Little a. A says as in apple. A says a. All right. Okay, this last tray that I have set up for my students, I'm going to be using some magnetic letters with this tray. So these are all foam letters, but they have magnets on the back, okay? So I have them in this tray here. I always like to separate my letters so that it's really easy for my students to get the letter they need when we're doing activities. I'll leave a link below to my Amazon affiliate store where you can get trays like these. All right. Now, because I always get questions about where I get these trays. They're basically just for beads. They're bead sorting trays, okay, that I use. So on this tray here, I have 3 different activities. So the first one is some puzzles that the kids will match up. These are CVC words, so they need to be sounding out and reading some words. This activity comes with top parts of pumpkins and then bottom parts of pumpkins. Oops. So I pulled a couple of them out here. I'm going to show you how they match up. So the student will read, and it's got the dots on here so the students can touch and say the sound. So for this one, it would be map, map, map. And then they would have to find the bottom piece of the puzzle that has a map and match it up. Okay, so here we have hot, and in this picture there's a little boy who is super, super hot. He's sweating. And this is gum, so we're gonna match our gum. This one is pig. All right, you get the idea. So it's just matching up. Now, an extension to this activity then would be to have the students spell out the words with their magnetic letters. So if you have map, then they're going to get M-A-P, and they're going to go ahead and make map right there on top of the pumpkin. Okay, and then they could go ahead and do that for all of the ones that they match up. Okay, this activity is missing sounds. So it's more CVC words, consonant, vowel, consonant words, but they're missing the beginning letter. So you want to use some magnetic letters with this, or if your students are really good at writing already, then they can use a dry erase marker and write the letter in. But my students are still learning how to write all their letters because my kids are mostly pre-K. And then kindergarten as well. Okay, so here is, and these are Thanksgiving themed because they just have pilgrims on them, as you can see. Okay, so this one is red, right? It's a picture of red, so they would use their magnetic letters over here. Okay, and they're going to fill in the missing letter. Okay, this is the very last activity I'm going to show you. And this activity book I made years ago when my son Mark was in preschool. And he is now 10, so you can imagine how many years ago this was. But you can download my fall activity books. You can still get them off my website. They're just super old. So this is the beginning sounds book. So what we would do is we would open up our book, and then the students have to find the missing beginning sound. Just kind of like the cards that we were just doing, except for these aren't CVC words. These are fall themed words that they're going to find. So leaf, they're going to find O for leaf and put it in their book. Scarecrow, obviously they're going to find S. Put that one in their book. Okay, and then let me just kind of show you some of the other pictures that I have in here. So this will be fun. We'll just go through our book, and I probably need to print out another one of these so that my kids don't fight and they can do it at the same time, now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, so that's that one. Okay friends, before I go, one thing I wanted to mention to you is that when the seasons change, I have really been enjoying this year using these bookshelves, and I have been putting themed books on our bookshelves so that we don't forget to read them, obviously, during the season. So right now, I just changed our bookshelf to all of these different Thanksgiving books that I have, and it's been so much fun because we just take a book off the shelf and we read it, and then that way we remember to read all of our fall-themed, you know, Thanksgiving-themed books during the season. Okay, so just an idea. I'm sure you guys already kind of do this kind of thing, but I'm excited for starting the Thanksgiving season. And then when Thanksgiving is over, I will take these books down and we will fill it up with Christmas books. And then after Christmas, we'll fill it up with like wintry books. I've been doing this kind of all year. So when we started out, I had like back to school books on here, and then I had fall books, and now it's specifically Thanksgiving, more Thanksgiving themed kind of books. So I have 3 like little shelves here in our schoolroom. So I just wanted to show you that. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.